How's it going, everyone? Coach Javi here. Welcome back to the channel. Today it's a beautiful day. It's like 63, 64 degrees out right now. We're going to do a little DIY kettlebell project for you guys to be able to work out at home. Let me show you guys what those look like right now, actually. So basically what you do is you take an old soccer ball, and I made them into kettlebells. This one is 20 pounds. You take some flat soccer balls, some old soccer balls, and this one wasn't flat, but I needed a bigger one, so I went to Walmart. Basically, the idea is you mix the concrete inside of the flat soccer ball. You put the PVC pipe in there, and then when you let it dry, you get a kettlebell. It's also helpful to buy a scale if you don't have one. We bought a scale for like $8 at Walmart, so we knew exactly how much each kettlebell weighed. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some smaller ones, which are gonna be 15 and 10. Let's get into it. So here's the materials that you guys are gonna need in order to get this done. Some of these you're gonna need them, and then some of these are optional, but they're gonna make the job a little bit easier. So first thing you're gonna need, and these are mandatory, is you're gonna need some Quikrete high strength concrete mix. I'll put all these things in the description as well, so if you guys wanna go down in the description, you guys will be able to see the links for where you can get all these and what the prices and stuff look like. PVC pipe, I think this one is 3/4 inch. So 3/4 inch, 10 feet. You're gonna need a bucket so that you can mix the concrete with the water. You don't really need a shovel, you need something to mix it. We use a shovel because it's easier, because when you start mixing the concrete, it's gonna get kind of hard. You're gonna need something to mix it with. You could also use one of these. These are like the little for gardening, to get down into the bucket and mix some of the concrete that's underneath. You're probably gonna need one of these because these are gonna help. So don't absolutely need one, but it's gonna make the job easier. Some measuring tape, because measuring tape is gonna allow you to measure the PVC pipe so you can cut it at the right distances. You're gonna need some tape for the handles, so that you could tape up the handles of the PVC pipe so that there's a little bit of a better grip when you use them. Safety is key. Sharpie, so you can mark the distances of the PVC pipe so you know where to cut. You don't absolutely need this. This is silicone waterproof sealant gel thing. It's glue. Basically, when you open up the kettlebell or the soccer ball, after you put the concrete in, when it dries, you're gonna wanna use the silicone to close it off. But I've noticed that you don't really need to close it off because the concrete is just gonna be one big slab. As soon as it dries, you can just like blow off all the extra little dust and stuff, and then you won't really need to close it up because it's not like it's gonna go anywhere. But if you want to, you can use that. A little knife so that you can make the slit opening for the kettlebell. Be careful with that. You're gonna need a saw. If you're a young lad, your dad has one of these in his garage. Make sure if you're a young lad that you're doing this with a parent and you're not doing this, probably shouldn't be moving it around, but you're doing this with a parent or someone who's over 18 who can supervise this whole thing. So you shouldn't be doing this by yourself if you're a young lad. A jam box, speaker, because you're gonna be outside a lot, so you wanna listen to some tunes. So that's not required, but you should have it because Coach Javi likes to put his oldies on when he works on projects. And then obviously, lastly and most importantly, you're gonna need your soccer balls. So I have different sizes here. These are all flat because, like I said, these are ones at the field house that we're probably just gonna throw away anyway. These are gonna be our 15-pound, and then these are gonna be our 10-pound kettlebells. Oh, and the last thing you need is you need an oven, because you're going to heat up the PVC pipe. You're gonna heat it up in the oven so that it's flexible, so that we can make it into that horseshoe shape, so that we can use it as the handle for the kettlebell. So I'll explain that in a little bit, but yeah, you're gonna need to use your oven, and you're gonna need to be really careful. All right, so what we did is we grabbed the measuring tape and we put it where we wanted to create the slits for the PVC pipe openings. Originally, we did 8 inches from one side to the other. And then for the small soccer balls, we thought that we can make the distance a little bit shorter, but what we found out is that the distance needs to be 8 inches regardless, because it needs to be wide enough for the PVC pipe to be able to fit. So if you make it 6.5 or 7 inches, it's going to be really hard to squeeze both of the sides of the PVC pipe in there. So if you can keep it at 8 inches, you're going to make a T-slit at both ends, kind of like a cross, and then you're going to pretty much just connect those two slits with a knife. So from one side to the other, just use a knife and cut the soccer ball, connecting both of those points. And then you're going to take that little rubber inflatable piece that's inside, and you're going to take that part out. And then what you should be left with is just the shell of the soccer ball. Step 1 is done. We got our 4 little kettlebell tings. So after we're done with that, now we move on to our PVC pipe. All right, so for the PVC pipe, for the handles, we did 25 inches. So the handle is gonna be 25 inches. You'll measure it out from there, 25 inches, make a mark, and then you'll cut it there. another 25 inches, make a mark. Anywhere between 23 and 25 should work for all the different size kettlebells. Should be able to just snap these off. Okay, so this is an extra step. You don't absolutely need to do this. You probably don't need to do this, but if you want some peace of mind, you can do this as well. But what we want to do is we're going to drill some holes at the end so that we could stick some nails through like this and put those in the concrete like that. So when they're put into the concrete like that, when the concrete dries, this thing really won't be able to be pulled out of the concrete. From my experience, and you know, when I was paving roads back in my day, you have to put, if you guys see when they pave roads with concrete, they put like metal pieces in there just to make it a little bit more sturdy. I have no idea what I'm talking about, to be honest. The idea behind this is that we put holes in there, we put the nails in there so that the concrete sticks, okay? Just to make it a little bit more sturdy when you got the handle, because you're going to be lifting it up and putting it down and all that stuff. So just to make it a little bit more sturdy, that's all. Here's one. There's two. So you want to make them one on this side of it. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. And then one on the other side, because the nails are going to stick. One like that. Sorry. One like this. And then one that way. Okay. Now we got our PVC pipe cut with the holes in them. If you choose, we're going to go inside, heat up the oven, and get these to be flexible. All right, let's go. What we're going to do is we're going to heat the PVC pipe so that we can make it pliable, so that we can bend it into that shape of the kettlebell handle. So you're going to take your ting, you're going to put it on a tray, so you can see that. Can you see that? Okay, you're going to put it on a tray, and you're going to heat your oven. You're going to preheat your oven on bake to 350. You're going to leave this in there for 5 minutes. Don't leave it any longer than 5 minutes, because there is a chance that it could start melting, and if it starts melting, it's going to ruin your oven. So what you want to do is 5 minutes. We'll put the bake time here. There at 5. We'll set it on the pan there. And now we wait for 5 minutes. Make sure you guys are watching this. Obviously, don't go somewhere, because you never know. But we tried it last time and it was pretty safe. And make sure you're also wearing some gloves or something, like some oven mitts or something, so that you don't get burned when you take it out.
5 minutes later.
So it's already bent, but what you want to do is you want to bend it slowly, because if you go too fast, it's going to crease in the middle. So why don't you hold that middle and kind of squeeze it a little bit. There we go. As I bend this. So the PVC pipe will cool down pretty quickly, so now it's starting to get a lot harder to move, but there we go. Boom. So there's the first one. It's not perfect, but first one's always the experiment. Alright, so there you go. We got our 4 PVC pipe kettlebell handles. They should be cooled off pretty quick, and now we're going to go outside and start with the concrete mixing. So for the concrete mixing, what we want to do is we're going to put the concrete into the bucket, and then we're going to mix a little bit of water. Don't pour it all in and then pour water, because then it's going to be a lot harder to mix. So just pour a little bit of concrete and then put a little bit of water. The consistency, you want it to be like a sludge. Just make sure you're really careful because this can get really, really messy. And if you leave concrete that's already mixed with water just laying around, it's gonna form into concrete. So if you're doing it on a driveway, make sure you, before you're done, you hose it all off, because otherwise it's just gonna clump up. But that's what we're looking for right there. It's like sludge. All right, so this is gonna be a two-person process, so you need someone to help you out. Now, if you did the extra step where you drilled the holes onto these, you're gonna grab some nails. These are, I think these are like drywall screws. It doesn't really matter because they're all metal. So what you wanna do is you're gonna put the nails in like that. And then when you put these into the soccer ball, when the concrete starts drying, these are gonna hold nice and tight in the soccer ball, and it's gonna be impossible for the concrete to loosen up and for these to be taken out when you're swinging them. But if not, if you didn't do that step, then we can just stick these straight in there when it's about halfway filled with the concrete. Now, we have finished all we can do for today. You're gonna have to let it dry for about 48 hours, so 2 days, a day and a half, 2 days. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna let it dry. Once it dries, we're gonna come back, clean them all off, and then you can put the silicone to close it off if you want, and then the Gorilla Tape to wrap the PVC pipe so that you can get a better grip for the handle. Just make sure you clean everything up. Like I said, if you're doing this on pavement, which you'll probably be doing, make sure that you hose off all the extra concrete, because if not, it's gonna dry and it's gonna look really, really bad, and your parents are probably gonna get really mad at you. So clean everything up, hose everything off, and then wait 48 hours. All right, so it's been 24 hours, roughly 24 hours. You could probably wait 2 days. Last time we waited 2 days just to be safe. But I think we're good, and you know Coach Javi likes to live life dangerously, so we're gonna come over here. One thing that I realized that we should have done after we finished all the kettlebells was, instead of just putting the concrete in like that, what you can do is you can put a plastic bag inside, and if you use the plastic bag, you can cover the whole ball, put the concrete in, so that the ball doesn't get dirty when you're putting the concrete in. And then when it dries, then you just cut around the plastic bag, and then there's no mess. Because right now we put just the concrete in there, we stuffed it in there, and now the soccer balls are a mess full of concrete. So if you would have used the plastic bag, it would have covered the soccer ball, but we didn't. So maybe you guys should. But what we have to do now is take out the concrete. So we're gonna hose it off with the hose. We're gonna wash it off with the hose, and then we're gonna take a rag and just clean it down. And then after that, we'll put the tape around the handle, and we should be good to go. In this step, this is where if you want to apply the silicone gel, or if you have Gorilla Glue, you can take these flaps, the open flaps, and then glue them together so that there's no opening there. But because it's a solid ball of concrete, the concrete's not going to get out. So for me, I'm lazy and I'm not going to do that, because what are they called? The flaps. Sorry, the flaps just kind of close in on themselves anyway, and they're going to stay like that. So doesn't really matter. What I'm gonna do now, just to finish it off, is I'm gonna tape the handle in some Gorilla Tape. right, so that's pretty much it. We just numbered the pounds on each one so we know which ones they are, but we got 10s, 15s, 20s, and the 30s, so we pretty much got all the different weights that at least we're gonna need. One thing I do want to mention is I also have another video that I did maybe like 2 years ago where I showed you guys how to build a rebounder or like a little soccer wall. I'm gonna link that up here somewhere because I know that a lot of you guys are probably staying at home, don't have much to do. So if you want to do another DIY project, and then any suggestions for future videos or anything that you guys maybe want me to make, I'm not an expert by any means. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's the idea of this, is the project behind it is just as rewarding as the final results that you get. So man, you save a lot of money. I have 8 kettlebells that in total I ended up paying about 20 bucks for. So you're not going to find any kettlebells cheaper than that, I'll tell you that for free. Lastly, if you guys like the educational components in my channel, like all the college recruiting, highlight video breakdowns, all that stuff, make sure you guys go and follow my Twitch, because on my Twitch, I am doing live highlight video breakdowns, live Q&As, answering college recruiting questions, how you can talk to these coaches, what emails you should be sending out. It's on my description down below, and I'll probably pin it as one of the comments. So that's it for this video. On the next video, I'm gonna do a workout with these so you guys can see some soccer specific workouts or some football specific workouts that you can do with kettlebells. But because this video is already long enough, I figured I'll just leave that for another video entirely. So that's it for this one, guys. Until next time, and adios, muchachos.